and welcome everybody to tonight's NARC Dirt Midget Race here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. My name is Thomas Brandon, and with me in the booth tonight is our resident SSR Pro and 2020 Driver of the Year, Greg Lamy. Greg, what are the guys on the track going to have to do to pull out the win tonight here at Bristol?
This is definitely one of those tracks that you got to keep up your momentum. This is a fun track in a midget and anything with non-wings. So I'm excited to see. I mean, practice looks like it's really close all the way through. So I'm excited to see who can keep their momentum up and keep that car to the slick.
Now, with the Dirt Midgets, we do have the new tire model, which should definitely provide us with some better racing here at Bristol. In the last race at Charlotte, it was close, but the cars were fairly slow. And now that we've got this new tire model, we have seen the speeds pick up. Now, Greg, you were in that Charlotte race, so you were with that other tire model, and you've also raced this new one. Tell me, what do you think the cars will be like with the new tire model at Bristol tonight?
I honestly think that with the old tire model, I mean, it would have been fairly boring. You would have probably seen everybody run right through the middle using the banking to get some runnies out of the corners and some sad attempts at some slide jobs throughout the night. But this new tire model, I mean, and the forward drive it's given everybody, I'm pretty excited to see what we can do. I think there's going to be some really good racing. Last week at Lernerville, the race that I was actually a part of, there was really great racing all the way through the pack. Nobody really ran away with it, but nobody was coming through the pack like crazy either. It was pretty even across the board, and you really saw who the better drivers were, I thought. I think this tire model is going to be great.
All right, well, it looks like they are qualifying as we are riding with the 75 of Michael Birthday as he takes the green flag for his first lap here at Bristol, right through the middle. Track's still really tacky, and that's one of the things about this new tire model is they just never slick the track off much, but they really don't seem to slick it off now with this tire model.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping that they do a warm-up tonight to get the track a little slick, because I think that does add another dynamic to the racing with the new tire model too. Just giving the guys alternative lines to try and battle side by side versus just running in a line.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Well, so far, Birthday did have a good run there as he laid down the quickest lap so far with a 17.219, and right behind him was Giovanni Mungie and Wade Fields really tight there up at the top with the top four all turning 17. Definitely some fast drivers with Birthday, Mungin, Fields, and Sylvie. So it'll be an interesting race tonight, although we've only got 14 cars tonight, so everyone will be making it to the feature. Probably only have 2 heat races, so this one will definitely go by quick, but should be some exciting racing tonight on the track at Bristol.
Yeah, definitely good to see some names I haven't seen in a bit back here racing with the NARC series. Craig Silby, I mean, I believe he's the inaugural winner of the NARC Midget League. I mean, you got Craig Sheeran flying in all the way from Australia to race here tonight. You got Keith Bradley, I mean, the animal. So super duper pumped to see him out after a little hiatus too. So I honestly still super duper tight. As long as the track stays this tacky, I really think that the racing is going to be a lot of single file. But again, I hope that it starts to slick off and we see some battling because nobody wants to watch a train go around the track for 30 laps.
No, definitely not. Now the interesting thing is the top 3 in the NARC Dirt Midget points are not here tonight. Gunnar Harris, Jake Sonntag, and Bruce Klingon are all gone tonight. So that's going to give the number 4 place car and number 5 place car, which is Brandon Garman and Craig Sheeran, an opportunity to really make some headway in the points in the standings. So we'll have to see what happens. They do have a couple of drop weeks, so we'll see how it all balances out in the end. But definitely an opportunity for Brandon Garman to climb up into that top 3 in the Dirt Midget points here in the NARC.
Yeah, I was actually coming into tonight. I was actually putting my money on Jake Sonntag. He's been fast, consistent, and he's just due for a win. So I think that him not being here is disappointing for me as a fan. But hey, we all got lives outside of racing, so we never know what's going on. But we'll hope to see him next week.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back next week. As it looks like we've got heat race number 1 gridding up on the track right now. And on the pole here in heat race number 1 is going to be Michael Birthday in the 75. He was the quick time. And outside of him in spot number 2, we were just talking about him, Brandon Garman. On the inside of row number 2 is going to be Wade Fields, and outside of him, his Indy Race Parts teammate, Keith Bradley. On the inside of row 3 will be Tony McGill, and outside of him, Craig Sheeran. And in the 7th starting position here in heat race number 1 will be Mace Germain. So, 10 laps, I believe. Yes, 10 laps, because the guy who's in charge of this league, that idiot Thomas Brandon, did not change it, forgot to change it for Bristol.
Hopefully
Whoops,
they all know
I
it's 10
just
laps.
remembered that right now.
Well, hopefully these guys all accounted for the fuel, and if I had to put my money on anybody in this one, I'd put it on Mike Birthday. He's quick. He had a quick time in qualifying, and I think when it comes down to it, I mean, the guy can get it done. He's an Indiana legend for a reason. So, but the two guys behind him are super duper quick on the second row. I mean, those teammates with the Indiana race parts team, newly formed team. I mean, they can get it done in anything non-wing. So they're wild cards, but. There he is, Brandon Garman finally pulling back up. It looked like he had some problem probably with his VR headset at the beginning of that. So glad to see him get rolling. Um, he won the heat race last week. I mean, he's kind of a wild card too. He's been getting a lot better recently. He's definitely had some ups and downs throughout the races, but this is gonna be a tough one. If somebody can find the grip or somebody can get some momentum, we could see some racing.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about momentum at this track, especially with these cars. You look at the lap times when you're on the tacky track, you can actually see the lap times getting faster and faster each lap if you keep smooth and consistent, because your momentum will build each lap. This track is so big and so fast. You can actually just get faster and faster. It's one of the few tracks where we can do that at.
Yeah, that's what surprised me about the qualifying is Mike. I didn't even notice him do a swing lap, but still took the pole.
Yep,
Here we
exactly. Green flag underway, and Birthday jumps out to an early lead as Garmin slides up the track, which opened the door for Fields to dive down underneath there and hop into that number 2 position with his teammate Bradley right behind him, and Tony McGill also taking advantage of that, moving up into the 4th and final chancellor spot. Remember, everyone's going to be going to the feature tonight. This is jockey in 4th position, and with this track being so fast, like Greg said, you don't want to have to come from the back. You want to be starting up front. Tonight's 30-lap A main event.
Yeah, Mike got an awesome start. I mean, he's kind of got a little gap. As long as he doesn't make any big mistakes, I think he's going to walk away with this one. Like I said, I mean, he's awesome midget driver. I mean, all these guys are, but Mike's definitely one of those guys that if you let him go out in front, and I know all too well, he's a tough guy to get by, especially on a tacky track like this.
Yeah, he is. He's very, very hard to catch when he can get out front and he's got open space in front of him. He's really fast, really consistent driver. So as we have lap 5, Birthday with a commanding lead over second place Wade Fields, followed closely by his teammate Keith Bradley, and then in the 4th and final transfer spot is Tony McGill. In 5th we have Mace Germain, and it looks like Sheeran and Garmin a little bit of trouble as they are off the track. So just the top 5 cars left here in heat race number 1.
Teammates are putting a little show on here. Battling with their new paint jobs out there, so it looks good.
Yeah, Bradley's getting a good run on Fields as they come down into that corner. I think he's going to try to look like he's going to try to cut underneath him coming out of 4. We'll have to see if he goes for that here. He looked for it, but he didn't get quite the run that he needed. It's so hard right now with the track being so tacky. You've got to really hope for somebody to just make a mistake at these speeds, and as fast as Keith may be, Wade's not somebody who's going to make a mistake usually.
Not with the track being this tacky. Wade can get around in a non-wing car as good as most people can, so I doubt we're going to see any mistakes out of these top 3 guys right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He's trying to make it work though. He's running that cut down line, but Wade's just hugging the bottom too good.
Yeah, there's just no room for him to get around. And white flag for our leader, Michael Birthday, is like I said, he's got a commanding lead, about 10 to 12 car lengths over second place Wade Field. So he's coming into 3 and out of 4, and your heat race #1 winner will be Michael Birthday in the 75. That'll put him on the pole for tonight's 30-lap A main event. So good run for Birthday, Fields, Bradley, and Tony McGill grabbing that 4th and final transfer spot here in Heat 1.
Yeah, let's hope for some slickness to pop up here as the racing progresses there. I mean, definitely don't want to see a train like that for the whole 30 laps. We want to make sure
No,
that
we
these guys
don't.
get some battling. And but Indiana legend, Mike Birthday up front, taking the win, starting on pole tonight. I might have to put my money on him again for the future if but we'll see how the second heat goes.
Yes, we will. And probably the biggest challenger to Birthday in the feature is going to be the man starting on the pole here in heat #2, and that is Craig Silby. Outside of Silby in the #2 spot is Giovanni Mungin. Starting third on the inside of row #2, we've got Brandon Voiles, and outside of Voiles is Larry James Rowan. Starting in the 5th spot inside row #3 is going to be Cale Halbert, and outside of Halbert is Al Denton. And in the 7th and final spot here in heat race #2 is going to be the 19th car of Tim Burner. So once again, 10 laps. Top 4 will go straight to the feature. Everyone else will run the consolation. Like I said before, everybody will be making the feature, just jockeying for position. But 10 laps, top 4 to the feature. Silby Mungin will be leading them here to the green flag.
I have to say, Al Denton, one of my favorite names in all of NARC. Every time I see him, I always think of al dente pasta. It cracks me up every time, and I root for him in every race that I get to watch that he's in, whether I'm racing or spectating. I'm always cheering for al dente just to get it done. But one of my good buddies, Kale, Highbolt's in this one. I mean, the ice cream man is coming from the back, but see what he can do.
And they bunching up there on the start. And man, that really left the opportunity for Mungin, as he actually got a great jump. I don't know what Silby was waiting for, but he has definitely recovered, as it looks like he's going to pull ahead of Giovanni Mungin down the backstretch heading into turn #3. So bunched up on the start there, that really opened the door for who you were just talking about, Kel Halbert, putting him into the 3rd position. So it's Silby, Mungin, Halbert, and Voiles here on lap #2 in heat race #2.
Yeah, I know Kale loves these cars, and I mean, I think that they left the door wide open for him when they bunched up, and he just was there to take advantage of it. And he's another one of those sleepers tonight, like Brandon Garman. He's had his moments. He's had some really good racing, and he's due for the podium or one of the that top 5 spots. So let's see what he can do. And I mean, the ice cream man is coming still.
Yeah, well, right now up front we can see Giovanni Mungin trying to make the move there on the... Oh, and the door is slammed shut by Silby. That was really, really close. As Silby slid right up in front of Mungin, slammed the door on him there in turns 1 and 2, and he's reclaimed the lead as they're coming down here to lap #5.
They're really taking advantage of this NASCAR type track, running it and look like in a draft at this point, nose to tail. So. But the more they're battling, the closer Kale's getting. So I'm excited to see if they can keep it going, see what he can do, and maybe take advantage and start up on that front row.
Well, right now, Kel is the fastest car on the track. He's about a half a tenth faster than Gio and a tenth faster than the leader. So if these guys keep battling, he's going to have a chance to catch him. There's going to be a couple laps left here as we come to lap #7 here in heat race #2.
Looks like Brandon took advantage of it too. I mean, he's kind of running around by himself right there, but I mean, he's got an easy transfer spot there, sitting in 4th. Larry James Rowan kind of pulling up the back there, but I know he got jammed up on that start. So, oh, Kale's building the momentum, running a little high, catching some of those marbles. Is it gonna work?
We'll have to
Ugh.
see. Every time Gio gets close to Silby, you just can't make it stick. And when Kale gets close, it's the same thing. Falls off just a little bit as Gio goes for a pass here, heading into turn 1 on the outside of Silby. Silby slides up just a little bit. That's going to force Gio up, but not going to be able to get around him. It's right now the track's just too fast. Gio cannot find a way around Silby to take the lead there. Ooh, goes for the cut down line as we come to the last lap here in heat race number 2, and Silby's been pressured this whole race. Can he hold on for a half lap more to get that outside pole position for the feature as Mungeon looks to the inside out of turn 4, and it's not gonna work as Craig Silby wins heat race number 2 in the NARC Dirt Midget race here at Bristol. So hard fought race by Giovanni Mungeon, but Silby was able to hold off the charge the entire race and take advantage and get that outside pole position for the feature. All right.
Yeah. Just a little slick gave us some much better race in there. You can see that slick starting to form around the bottom, and guys are just having to move around a little bit and making a few mistakes, and the racing's getting tight already. And I mean, I'm still not counting Kale out as we head into the feature. I mean, he was really fast in that one, just not enough laps. But thankfully, the feature will have 30, so we can give him a little bit more time to get up there to the front.
Yes, it will definitely give him some more time. All right, B main is now lining up on the track, and on the pole of tonight's B main event will be Mace Germain, and outside of Germain, starting in the number 2 position, will be Larry James Rowan. On the inside of row number 2 is Craig Sheeran, and outside of Sheeran is Tim Burner. Starting in the 5th position on the inside of row number 3 is Brandon Garman, and outside of Garman, starting in the 6th and final spot of this B main, is Al Denton. So 10 laps here in the B main. Everybody will go to the feature. This is just for starting positions, and as you can see, the track's starting to slick off here, which is a good sign. We want to see that track get some slick so that second groove can hopefully open up for the feature. I imagine they'll run the warm-up tonight, get that track worked in just a little bit more, hopefully provide some better racing, some better passing opportunities in that 30-lap feature.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the new tires are great, but on a tacky track, I mean, you're gonna find the same racing whether you're on the old or new tires. So I'm glad to see that slick starting to form. I mean, it's more than I anticipated coming into this with this few of cars and the light field tonight. But hey, we'll take it, and hopefully that pushes it up, and we can see some real slide job battles and stuff in the feature tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think one factor with the sun still shining on the track, that might be affecting how quickly the track is slicking off. You'll see where the sun is shining, the track seems to be slicking off more than it is there in the shade, so maybe that'll help form that second line, at least on the entrances of turns 1 and 2, and then through 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, one person I'm surprised to see in this B main is Craig Sheeran. Craig is a phenomenal non-wing sprint car driver, and I know those skills aren't exactly the same, but they do correlate a little bit. But here we go. Mace Germain off to a huge start.
Germain got a phenomenal jump there, taking the green flag, but Rowan and Sheeran definitely closing up quickly there, out of 2, and Germain got tapped there, and that looked like some serious net code. They looked like they were about 3 feet apart there. Unfortunately, that is one thing that Bristol is kind of known for right now, is some fairly bad net code when it comes to the track. We've seen it a few times in past races. That was a really tough break for
I hear some speaking amongst the drivers here, and everybody seems to understanding of exactly that. This track's a little bit known for that net code, so looks like all good in the pits. So let's get back, and Craig Sheeran's putting in work on the bottom.
Yes, he is. He's got that bottom working as Germain goes up the track, and it looks like Sheeran's going to go for the pass here into 3 and 4 and cut down out of 4, and looks like Craig Sheeran is going. No, Germain fights back on the outside. He's got that momentum there. Sheeran goes for the slide job now, looking to slam the door on Germain, and comes back down, and this time it looks like he's going to get that past the stick as he slides up the track to that high line.
Third place just went flipping down the backstretch. Looks like they caught the wall a little bit. Getting a little mesmerized by Craig and Mace battling there.
Tough break there for that driver catching the wall here. That's something I have personally done myself, and when you're going this fast, it never really ends well.
I believe from looking at this the timing and scoring, it was my good buddy Al Dente. So I'm very disappointed about. I want to see. Always cheering for that guy.
We'll see him back in the feature. He's just getting it out of the way early tonight. That's all.
It's like when you get a new helmet and you drop it, just so that way you're good.
Yep, you're just scuffing it up, just getting it worn in. Yep, that's all you're doing. Just stressing it. That's all.
Yep. Get that out of the way, Al.
There you go. All right, so lap 8 here as Craig Sherm has got a commanding lead now, as Jermaine seems to have hit the wall and had a problem, and pretty much Craig Sherm is on an island by himself at the moment, as we are on lap 9 of 10 here in this B main, with Sherm coming to the white flag. So 1 lap to go for Sherm to lock up the B main here. And actually a fairly good starting spot. Yeah, fairly good starting spot for the feature too. He'll be starting in the 9th position in the A main. Definitely a position he can come from. Testing the apron line there.
Yeah, from the lap time, doesn't look like it was where the speed was at, though. It just doesn't have the banking, so you don't get that run or that push off the corners like you do up top. And it might seem way further around, but if you can lock that tire into that marbles up top, is really, really fast here. So I think as the feature progresses, we're going to see it walk up the track a little bit. And I just heard from the race director that they're going to run the warm-up to slick this track up a little bit.
Well, that's good. That'll definitely make the track a little bit more racy for that 30-lap feature.
I know one of the struggles that I've heard from a lot of people right now is setups with this new tire model. It's just not. Last week we raced on the day of the change, and this week we're racing a week later. And I don't know if a lot of these guys had enough time to test these cars, or they're running older setups, or just kind of winging it tonight, because we're definitely seeing some of the cream of the crop rise to the top. But like I said, there's some dark horses out there that I've probably been putting in some time, and 30 laps is a long race in these little things around this track.
Yes, it definitely is. And one thing that I've noticed with the testing and stuff that I've done personally with the setups on the new tire model is that with the new tire models, and this has been the case for all the cars, is that the dynamics of the cars have really shifted in terms of the dynamic weight. You really have to change your thinking about the way that you attack or look at a setup. You want to really start thinking more about the dynamics in terms of where the weight is and how it's going to shift and where it's going to shift, as opposed to of just looking at it in terms of it, being like, oh, I've got 175 pounds on the right front. And so with that dynamic to it and the stiffness of the tire, it allows you to really experiment, and you can come up with some really different setups with these cars now. And the really nice thing about it that I like is that they can all be fast. There is no, it's not like the wing sprint cars where it's like, hey, you got to do X, Y, and Z to be fast. With this, it's really just a matter of getting the car hooked up and comfortable for you. Once you do that, good to go. So hopefully these guys will have something that can do that for them.
I know one thing you used to say about the midgets originally was the setups were very similar to what we were running or what you guys were running in real life. I know you worked on those cars quite a bit in real life, so do you find it similar still, or is it completely different now?
No,
our front
very
row's
much.
Having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, very much still close to real life. Yes, the setups that I've been building with them now are setups that we would run in real life. Very, very close to real life setups. So they're still very realistic. This new tire model, they've done a really good job with it. Got it back to what we used to love about these cars, with the improvement of being able to feel the tire and feel the cushion and stuff like that. So yeah, really good job with it. All right, lining up here for our 30-lap A main event, and on the pole is your Heat Race 1 winner of Michael Birthday, and outside of him is Craig Silby. In row number 2 on the inside, we have Wade Fields, and to his outside is Giovanni Mungin. Starting in the 5th position is Keith Bradley, and outside of him is Cale Heilbit. Starting on the inside of row number 4 is Tony McGill, and outside of McGill is Brandon Boyles. Starting in the 9th position is Craig Sheeran, and outside of Sheeran is Mace Germain. Starting in row number 5 or 6 on the inside is Tim Burner, and outside of Burner is Al Denton. And starting in the 13th position is Larry James Rowan, and outside of him we've got Brandon Garman, and we are under green as Birthday gets the jump here early and hops right up to the top, and Silby slides way up the track, and that's going to open the door for Fields and Bradley as they head down the backstretch. So it's Birthday, Fields, and Bradley as we come down to lap number 2 of this 30-lap A main event. Birthday got a heck of a jump there. We'll have to see if he can hold on to it with those guys behind him. Those guys are both really, really fast. It looks like they would rather battle themselves right now than try to chase down the leader. Oh no!
Teammate, that's a rough one. Because I know those guys are good buddies in real life and here, and looked like a little bit of that netco we saw in the heat races again, but...
Yes, it did. Look like exactly like that.
Not sure what happened to Craig on that start. He did look like he was sleeping a little bit, and Birthday took advantage, and both of the Indy Race Parts guys snuck underneath, but he's still hanging there. He's running that bottom line. He looks fast, so a lot of laps left.
Yes, there is. Now they do get one fast repair, and if they can use it before lap number 11, got to be done within the first 10 laps. So hopefully he'll have a chance there to get that car fixed and back on the track. That was a really, really tough break for Wade Fields there. He had a fast car tonight.
I would say, I mean, some guys coming from the back. We got Brandon Voiles, who's up already, it looks like. Oh, I'm sorry, Larry James Rowan is up already 3 spots. You got Brandon Garman up 2 spots. So 2 laps, 2 guys, 2 laps, 3 guys. So some guys in the back making some moves. Like I said, those dark horses, can't count them out with a long race like this, and net code and cautions, and whoever knows what goes on in dirt racing. So we'll see some excitement here. Tony McGill coming up too. He's right there in the back of that top 5, trying to crack into that top 5. I mean, we always call Tony the assassin, because when we started racing with Tony, he was a little bit of a wild child in the car. I think me and all the practice buddies that we race with, like Pete, have gotten hit by Tony, but he's really honed his skills in lately, and he's showing it tonight, creeping up into almost into that top 5 already.
Yeah, Tony's one of those guys. He's definitely gotten better with the midgets. You know, he's been improving steadily in these cars over the last couple of seasons, and it's good to see him running up front tonight. Hopefully he can cap off a solid start to the night.
Yeah, I think he's definitely committed to these cars too. He really enjoys driving them. I know that I see him in other cars every once in a great while, but 9 out of 10 times it's in one of these cars, and but yeah, it's paying off. He actually with Wade knocked out, I apologize, he is in the top 5, so counting the cars back now. We got Birthday, we got Birthday, we got the Animal in second, we got Gio, Craig, and then Tony, the assassin, and then the Ice Cream Man is the one on the outside, Cale Heibel.
All right, pace truck is off, and we are back under green as Birthday once again jumps out to a good lead over Keith Bradley in the number 2 spot, followed by Giovanni Mungin, Craig Silby, and Tony McGill. The top 3 is broken away from 4th and 5th there, but it's only lap number 4, so a long way to go as Bradley closing in on Birthday. He definitely has had a fast car tonight.
Sounds like those Indy Race Parts guys might have some stuff figured out, and I know they're a non-wing specific team, so maybe they did a little extra testing this week to get those cars dialed in, because Keith is all over Mike right now.
Look to the inside there, coming out of 4, doesn't make it work, but he goes to the high side, looking to see if he can get around Birthday, and no, Birthday gets back in front of him as they head into 3 and 4, but that left the door open for Giovanni Mungin as he's closed up now, as you can throw a blanket over the top 3 here, heading into turn number 1 We got a 3-car battle for the lead. Birthday, Bradley, and Mungeon all battling for that top spot. All of them running almost identical lap times, separated by only a couple thousandths of a second.
Yeah, it looks like Keith's trying to do that, trying to go for that move that he ran in the heat race against Craig, where he was trying that cut down line coming out of 4. He's really fast in turns 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, for some reason, he just seems to not get the drive off the corner like he does out of 3 and 4. Like
Yep.
he runs up on him down the front stretch, and then coming out of 2, he's missing something. But Gio, whew.
Got a run there as he's looking to clear Bradley and Birthday here in one shot. He's found something on the bottom.
He's sticking
And
that
now
bottom
Bradley's
3
looking
wide.
to thread the needle right between the two of them as we head down the front stretch into turn number 1 here on lap number... Oh, no. Tough break for Gio there as he
Gio slid up just a smidge too much. That was some close racing. It was really good, and it almost looked like Keith was trying to take your spot as the man in the middle, Tommy,
yeah,
for most of these races.
Spun around there, man. Really, really tough break for Giovanni Mungeon there in turn 2. That was tough. I know what it's like to be 3 wide in the middle. It's not a place you want to go. And when you slide up like that, yeah, yeah, I need to get those made. I had about a 3 race streak there where that's all my spotter said to me was 3 wide. You're in the middle.
Oh man, Craig Sheeran is coming, and that caution really helped him out because that puts him on the 3rd step of the podium right now. He's gotten by his fellow Australian Craig Silby already, all the way from 9th. So let's hope he can get up there and battle with these guys cleanly like these guys were doing. And I think Tony's back to 6th, but he's still right there battling and getting ready to battle for that top 5 position. So good buddy of mine, Tony and Kale, side by side, and hoping to see those guys make their trek back to the front again.
Yeah, both Brandon Boyles and Craig Sheeran making their way from the back half of the field. Sheeran was in that B main, coming from the 9th position, already up to 3rd. And he's a very, very talented driver. You know, in terms of, if you look at the I rating alone, I think he's like 4 or 5K. So he knows how to get around in just about every dirt car that I've seen him run, particularly the non-wings, both the midgets and the non-wing sprint cars. So it looks like he might have figured something out here for the feature. Definitely going to keep an eye on him. His Birthday and Bradley are probably going to have their hands full with him coming these next 20 laps.
Yeah, I mean, my experience with Craig, I mean, and I've raced with him quite a bit, is he's never the quickest qualifier I've ever, but I mean, he has his moments. Like, I don't want to take it away from him. He's fast all the time, but never the top qualifying guy. But when it comes time to actual racing, he's a great racer. And like you said, in the non-wing cars, he really, really can put it down. And midget, non-wing, I mean, and he's proven it tonight. Brandon Voyles, big surprise to me. I'm not super familiar with him. I only raced with him maybe a few times, but coming from the back too, and maybe he's following. He's got an anchor hooked to the back of Craig's car and just following along.
Oh, we'll have to see here, as we should be getting ready to go green, I would think. Looks like the lights are out on the face truck. So
I don't know. Oh, because this is Bristol, we're gonna pace for.
Oh yeah, that's
like
right.
10 or 12 more laps, I think. They want to make sure the track's really running here at Bristol.
That's
so.
right. I forgot. Well, they did add that new feature where you can change that, but the admins must not have changed it.
That dang Tommy Brandon guy again, forgetting
I
things.
know. Well, you got to be in the race to do that. Exclamation point, pacing, and then you put the number of laps or whatever it is. So yeah, we can't do it. All right, now we're
here
one
we
to
go.
green. Lights are
They're
out
bunching
on
up,
the
so
pace
it looks like
track.
we're going.
All right, pace truck is off, and we are back under green as Birthday once again. He's been getting great jumps on these starts, definitely playing to his advantage. He might not be the fastest car, but these jumps that he's getting are definitely giving him some breathing room over second place Keith Bradley and Craig Sheeran, like we said, who's on the charge from 9th position.
He's reeling him in quick again this time. It looks like Mike is drifting up just a smidge high in the corners right now, and Keith's hugging down a little low, about a half car low, and that seems to have some good grip. And obviously he's a little shorter around the track, so
That is
he's
one
making it
thing with
work.
these new
Ooh.
tires is that you don't have to be up in the marbles to get grip with these things. As Bradley's going for the lead, heading off into turn 3 as he throws the slide job on Birthday, and he's going to make it stick.
The animal to the lead.
Man.
The way his car looks, I don't think he's going to be looking back.
No, I don't think so. Could be wrong, though. We're only on lap 13. We still got a long ways to go, and Craig Sheeran is definitely on the charge still.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, Mike's going to have to deal with our friends from down under here in a second, so.
Yeah, he's going to have his hands full, but Bradley, he is the fastest car on the track. He's a 1/10 of a second faster than everybody else on the track as of right now. Birthday slides up the track, and that's going to open the door. Sheeran's going to go low, throw the slide job, and it looks like he's going to take second place from Michael Birthday as we come off of turn 4 down the front stretch here for lap number 15 of 30. Oh, no.
Oh, Birthday, no. I was just going to say, I hope Mike can follow these guys and learn something, but it looks like he is rolling.
Tough break for Birthday as Silby just slid up in front of him, got the pass there, and just a little tap, and it doesn't take much when these cars are going that fast. So back up front, it's Keith Bradley over Craig Sheeran all the way from the 9th position. Then we've got Craig Silby, Brandon Boyles, Tony McGill, Cale Halbert, Giovanni Mungeon making his way back up from his early race incident. Brandon Garman in 8th, Larry James Rowan in 9th, Al Denton in 10th, and then Mace Germain, Tim Berner, and it looks like Birthday and Fields are both off the track. So tough break for two of the faster cars here in the race as, we got a battle for the lead now as Sheeran looking to make a move on Bradley. Bradley looks like his times are falling off just a little bit as Sheeran is 2.5 of a second faster than Bradley right now. Bradley running 18.0s and Sheeran running 17.8, so Sheeran looked like he found something in these last couple laps as he is definitely on the move.
I should have put my money on Craig, but hey, you live and you learn. He's got this thing hooked up right now. So
you can see Bradley got his mirror full with Craig Sheeran right now here on lap number 20. Sheeran looking for a move, going for the slider. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to clear it as Bradley holds on to that top line there and able to power his way around Sheeran on the outside as we head 20 laps down and 10 laps to go in this 30-lap A main event. Now, while these guys are battling, Craig Silby is starting to make his way closer. He's picking up time on these guys. These guys have slowed down quite a bit. Silby is now the fastest car on the track as these two are battling for that top position. So it looks like we're going to have a 3-car battle for the lead here if these guys keep doing what they're doing. Sheeran, big slide up the track there. Looked like he was trying a different line. Did not seem to work out too much there as he looks like he closes in on the entry, but Bradley just pulls away from him on the exit there. Too much of a run. Oh, Sheeran's going to go for a pass there. It looks like he goes to the inside of Bradley in 1 and 2, and it looks like he's going to get it to stick as they drag race down the backstretch. Sheeran throws the slide job. Will Bradley be able to cut underneath? No, Sheeran's got too much of a run there. And a new race leader here on lap 25 is Craig Sheeran, all the way from the B main. Now up in the top spot.
Craig is getting it done. That car is hooked up. And he's running a very unique line too. Oh,
big wreck for Craig Silby.
Well, when one Craig has luck,
tough.
Another has to take the bad.
That was a tough one, man.
Sorry for my silence there, Tommy. I was having a little technical difficulties.
No problem.
But I'm gonna say this race has been pretty exciting so far. I know there's only a few laps left now, but Craig is getting it done.
He is all the way up from 9th position, man. Coming from the B main after struggling in qualifying in the heat race and to come all the way back here in the feature, definitely a very strong run for Craig Sheeran. So,
Brandon Voiles is definitely surprising me too. Again, and more of an unknown driver to me. I'm pretty familiar with the rest of the field, but Brandon coming from the back too. I mean, he like I said, he's been smooth, consistent, getting it done every single lap, and putting himself in good positions, and just waiting for some mistakes by some of the other drivers. I'm not going to count him out for taking one of those two guys, those two top spots, and again, Kale, the ice cream man, is right there on the fringe of that podium. I want to see my buddy get up there, and I think that he had a fast car early, so same kind of spot as Brandon's in right now. Put himself in a good position. Last couple laps, you never know with those guys battling at the front what kind of mistakes could happen, and just got to be ready to take advantage.
yep, the 58 Hunger Buster there. He'll definitely have a shot there to get into the top 3. We'll have to see if he can do it. Hopefully he can. He's been running well in these midgets over the last few weeks. Definitely gotten a lot stronger in these cars, so it's been good to see.
Yeah, I think similar to Tony McGill, I know that he really enjoys driving them. He's putting in the work, and that's all you can do. I mean, just get better week after week, and one of those days, I mean, and you and me know this as good as anybody, the dominoes just fall into place.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we're going green next lap if I calculated my pace laps correctly here.
I think we're gonna have one more to go. I
Oh,
believe it's 27 laps for caution or something like that. Something crazy.
I didn't get it to look at it earlier, but I'm getting a little bit closer look here at Craig Sheeran's car. He's got a really, really unique car. It's got a giant snake head coming in, biting the driver's seat, and it's really cool looking. I mean, being from Australia, that's probably a pet of his. So I would assume that he just painted his car with a pet on it in memoranda or something like that. But
Yeah, that's awesome. Australia is one of the places that I would love to live if I could live there without the 125-degree days and the crazy animals that live over there.
yeah, I've saw too many videos of Australian jumping spiders
Yeah,
and people fighting kangaroos to want to move there. I'd go
yeah,
visit 100% on a very short nature walk. I'd probably be gone though.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I would need a
All
I
right.
would need a rifle and a pistol to even wander out into the bush. All right, pace truck is off. We're gonna have 5 laps to go here as Sheeran leads him down, and he got a heck of a jump on Bradley there heading into turn 1. Because like I said, we got 5
Oh
laps to go.
no. What even happened?
Oh man, what happened
I've
there?
never seen anything like that, but
Looking here
oh,
on the replay.
it looks like he just got a little bit squirrely in the slick going down the front stretch and
Yep.
clipped the wall. And you and me know this as well as anybody because we've done it 100 times. You hit the
Yes.
wall with these things, you're in for a ride.
Yes, you are. Once you touch that wall with these cars, man, it's pretty much over. You don't have the fenders like you do on the late models to protect you. Once you tag the wall with an open wheel, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion you're gonna flip. So tough break for Brandon Voiles as he had made his way up to the podium there, man. That was a heck of a run he was having.
I know one of the things I've learned over my time here on iRacing and just being around racing in general is, that sometimes when you're racing against guys with the skill level of Keith and Craig and Kale and some of those and Gio coming from behind there, that you get a little antsy and you just got to be calm, cool, collected, and regardless of if it's 3-time defending champion Alex Bergeron or your good buddy, you just run it the same way. But easier said than done, and as we can see.
It is. That's a very hard thing to do when you're, even a newer driver. When you've got experienced drivers in front of you and behind you, and it can be tough. Your nerves focus more on not screwing up or holding on to what you got, and unfortunately, that's usually problems can happen. So tough break for Brandon Boyles as he's having a really good run tonight in the
Yeah,
NARC
man.
Dirt Midgets.
Hope to see him out next week and kind of pick up where he left off because he was having a good run, and I know that when you're a newer driver to a series or a newer driver maybe in general. I don't know Brandon that well, but these podium runs are always fun to have and always good confidence boosts for you. But if he's listening, if he watches this back, awesome race. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to come back next week strong at Cedar Lake.
These pace laps. Oh my God, this race be over by now if it was for these pace laps. Holy.
Yeah, they would be.
Good thing fuel doesn't count for pacing.
Yeah, that's a really good thing.
I'm excited though. Kale Heibel, I mean, one man's misfortune is another man's treasure here. Kale is on the podium. He's got a really, really quick driver behind him in Gio, but I, I have faith in my buddy. I think Kale's put in the work. If he can hook that car up like he did in the heat race, he has a good shot to put it on the podium.
He does. He does. He's been fast all night. He's definitely on pace with the leaders. Um, in terms of his fastest lap, he's about a tenth and a half off. But in terms of his last laps, he's on pace with the leaders. Kale's one of those guys that he might not lay down the burner in the feature, but when you look at the lap times as a whole, he's been very, very consistent. So consistency is definitely paying off right now. As like you said, he's as of right now here with about 3 or 4 laps to go, he's on the podium in this 30 lap A main event. So Tate's truck has got the lights off. It looks like we'll be getting back to green here, as we've got Sheeran, Bradley, Heilbut, Mungen, and McGill, your top 5.
Sneaking up, there's Brandon Garmin coming from, I believe, dead last at the start, all the way up to the 6th spot. So he's got something figured out too. So
Yeah,
I think he
he's
might be
been
hard
making a
charger as of right
charge.
now.
That's right. And Sheeran jumped out to a really big lead over Bradley. It's going to be tough for Bradley to catch him. Sheeran looks really, really fast right now. Heading off here to 3 laps to go in this 30 lap A main event. It's Sheeran, Bradley, Heilbut, Mungen, and McGill, your top 5. As Bradley is looking like he's closing in just a little bit up on Sheeran. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch him here as we come down with just 2 laps left to go here in this A main event. And Bradley pulling down to the infield. It looks like he might be out of fuel, and that's going to leave this race wide open for Craig Sheeran to get the win, as he's got a huge lead over now second place Cale Heilbut and third place Giovanni Mungen. So tough break for Bradley tonight, as he was one of the faster cars, had a top 2 car all night long. But white flag is out, and Craig Sheeran out of turn 4. Coming to the checkered flag, your winner for tonight's NARC Dirt Midgets here at Bristol, Craig Sheeran, followed by Cale Heilbut, Giovanni Mungen, Tony McGill, and Brandon Garmin, your top 5. So heck of a race for
Definitely
Craig
a
Sheeran.
good one.
Coming
Craig
all
put on
the
a
way
clinic.
back. Yes, he did. Coming back from the B main event.
Looks like Craig may have caught some slick on the backstretch while he was celebrating and
Well, luckily
put that thing on its side.
Luckily he caught that after the checkered flag flew and not during the race. So, once again, your final finishing order for tonight's A main event is Craig Sheeran, your winner here in this 30 lap A main event, followed by Cale Heilbut, Giovanni Mungen, Tony McGill, Brandon Garmin, Larry James Rowan, Mace Germain, Tim Berner, Keith Bradley, Brandon Boyles, Craig Silby, Al Denton, Michael Birthday, and Wade Fields. So that is your final finishing order, as we will go to the booth here and see if we can get our top 3 in here for an interview.
It might have been a small field tonight, but none of these guys were pushovers. This was a great race, and Craig definitely put on a clinic, but there were some battles all the way through, and tough break for Keith and Brandon and some of the other drivers that had some problems, but Cale, Gio, Tony, Brandon, I mean, they all took advantage of put themselves in good spots, and good things can happen. I mean, it's not always the fastest guy that wins every single race. It's sometimes it's
That's
the
right.
smart drivers that pay off.
All right, well, speaking of smarts, we are joined in the booth by our second place finisher, Cale Heilbut. Cale, you got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
All right, Kale. Well, all race long, Greg here was pulling for you, the Hunger Buster there, and you worked your way up to second place. Tell me, how did the race pan out for you tonight, making your way all the way up to the second place finish?
Didn't have a whole lot of practice time on this track, so just kind of went with one of the SSR Insider setups from last season. Tweaked the bars a little bit to my liking, and just tried to be patient. I knew it was 30 laps here is a long time, so I just tried to be very patient, hit my lines, try to stay out of trouble. And guys just kept on wrecking in front of me. I kept on picking up spots, and passed a couple guys along the way as well. And yeah, just tried to stay calm, patient, and work my way to the front. So just came up one spot short tonight.
All right, well, you definitely came up there tonight through the field, nice and consistent. You had an awesome run here on the track. Before you go, you got any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank?
Just all the guys at Team SSR, Tommy, you, and Bruce. The rest of the admin group there, all my teammates. We run together. 4 or 5 nights a week, running different cars and just trying to get us all better. And give a shout out to my Ignition Series guys also. I like having the newer guys with us in there. Reminds you to get back to the fundamentals. Line choice. Staying out of the slick, that sort of thing. So I think that helps a ton with my own racing too. So give a shout out to those guys also.
All right, well, thank you very much. Good run tonight. There you go, everybody. Kale Halbert, your second place finisher here in the NARC Dirt Midgets. Kale, heck of a run, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, so it looks like we are now joined by our third place finisher, Giovanni Mungin. Gio, you got me?
Yes, sir.
Gio, heck of a race for you tonight. You started up front. You were battling for the lead. You had a little bump in a spin there. You had to go to the back, and you were able to work your way all the way back up for a podium finish. So, tell me, how were you able to come back after that early race incident?
I think I got a little fortunate. I think a few of the cars that were ahead of me found the wall there when the line moved up the track. So I got a couple free spots that way, and I also got a couple lucky yellows that kind of bunched us back up. It seemed like right about the time I feel like I was stalling out for position, we were able to bunch back up, and then I just had an opportunity to get aggressive on the restarts. That is.
Well, like so many other drivers, we've got this new tire model on this Dirt Midgets. How did you feel about the tire tonight here at Bristol?
Yeah, it felt really good. It races really well. I loved the OG tire model, just for a pure fun factor. The way the car raced, you could really throw the car around and put yourself into some tight spots. And it feels like I can do that again. I'm comfortable driving close to guys. I'm comfortable throwing moves, and that's the best thing about the midget. We have all that track room. It's a shame not to use it, right? So it feels really good, and the couple little slight adjustments felt like I got a little bit more in the track in the right rear, so I felt a little more confident and darting myself at the cushion with speed. I felt real confident in the car that was going to stick for me. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, having fun.
All right, well, you definitely should have had confidence tonight. You were very, very fast. So before we go, do you got any friends, family, or sponsors you'd like to thank?
Team Speed Asylum, as always, is on the car and do a lot of work together in the garage and playing and having some fun. It's always nice to shout out those guys, but yourself, ESRN, um, and NARC and SSR, you guys put on these races, and nothing is free. And I certainly appreciate being able to come out and have a great place to compete. It's not taken for granted at all. So thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much there, Gio. There you go, everybody. Your third place finisher tonight, Giovanni Mungin. Gio, once again, awesome run, and hope to see you next week. All right, everybody, it looks like that is going to do it. I don't know where our winner for tonight went, Craig Sheeran. He probably had to hurry up and get over to his non-wing sprint cars. We got the non-wings coming up here in just a few minutes, but Anyways, that is going to do it. So your final finishing order, once again, Craig Sheeran, your winner in the NARC Dirt Midgets, followed by Cale Hobbit, Giovanni Mungeon, Tony McGill, Brandon Garman, rounding out your top 5 with Larry James Rowan, Mace Germain, Tim Burner, Keith Bradley, and Brandon Boyles, rounding out your top 10. And then we've got Silby, Denton, Birthday, and Fields. So that is going to do it for our first race here from Bristol with the NARC Dirt Midgets. We'll be back in about 20 minutes, or 30 minutes I should say, with the NARC non-wing 410 sprint cars. So I want to thank everybody for coming out, and thank you very much to my co-host, my man Greg Lamy here, who is going to be joining me. Are you going to be in the booth for the next race?
Yep, I'll be here with you in the next one. Hopefully it's as fun as this one. This was much more exciting than I anticipated with the way the track looked at the beginning. So hopefully we can get some slicked off track for the next one, because the non-wings race here really well when it gets slick.
All right, well, we'll see you back for all that exciting action in just a little bit. And until then, as always, good luck, good racing, and take